Make sure you subscribe to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It's your host with the most, the Desmos, JerCrispy. Welcome back to another video. Today, I got your boy, Herik, FB. Herik, the week. That's what I'm gonna call him. The week, not the week, like week, like the week. Like what? But last time we watched him, it was I think it was something about some girl or something like that. Blah blah. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow our social media. It's gonna pop up on the screen, and we on the road to 100. Let's see how this go. And the title is Scary Kids Movie. So let's see how this goes. Oh, yes, I know this movie. I hated this movie. This was the movie I used to be scared of. And for a passion, I used to hate this movie. This is my mama's favorite movie, though.
One of those movies. This movie is extremely memorable. The first time I watched it, I was in the 3rd grade. And I'm not gonna lie to you, much like everything else back then, I didn't know what was going on. I loved every part of it. The stop motion animation, the Alice in Wonderland vibe, the character designs. All of it was just perfection. There was one thing that I didn't like about it back then. One thing that I actually love about it now. The big reason this movie's so popular. That's how scary it is. You see, this isn't your average run-of-the-mill scary movie. This isn't Rent is Due Tomorrow scary, telling your crush you like them scary, or even that kind of scary. This is creepy. From beginning to end, this movie has you confused, creeped out, and contemplating why you even watched it, especially the ending. It gets weird. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going over by far one of the most terrifying movies in existence. So grab your popcorn, get your favorite stuffed animal, and try not to. So the first thing we open up to is a disturbing voodoo looking doll being made by a mysterious hand. Ooh, creepy. And then we see it get sent off into space or sky, or I don't know how this works. And you're probably wondering, who is that hand? And to that I say, why would I tell you, dummy? Then we cut to this beautiful home called the Pink Palace Apartments. It's located deep in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. And oh my goodness, does it suck. Look how gray it is. No joke, this is how it feels to live in New York sometimes. They got a blue Russian man dancing on the roof, an obese lady downstairs. Look, she even got the stair elevator thing, you know, that thing. We see a family moving in who are clearly not that good of people. Either that or they're broke, because they gave the mover a freaking $1 tip. What is he supposed to do with that? Buy in Arizona? And this is the family of no other than Coraline, our main character. She has blue hair, likes to explore, and honestly can make a lot better decisions. Y'all gonna see. But she's 11 years old, so I digress. We see her get scared by this harmless little black cat, like so relatable. Then we see her meet the only other kid in this movie. Well, the only other kid that we see alive. Why were you born Wybie? Which is a hideous name. Your mommy and daddy definitely don't love. He tells Coraline that his granny owns the Pink Palace, and normally she doesn't rent to people with kids, which is very suspicious if you ask me. Why Were You Born runs home and Coraline gets a rash on her hand. Then we cut back to Coraline's home where she's bored out of her mind. And this is where we meet Coraline's parents, who when I was younger, I thought were terrible parents. But nah, they're just trying to put money on the table and Coraline is constantly bored. They are struggling. That explains why they gave bro a $1 tip. They can't even afford to give him a $2 tip. Like, look at the mom. She literally has a neck brace on because he got into a car accident on the way up there. So you know that cost him some money. Then look at this fridge.
Wow.
Tell me, what are you gonna make in there? And then finally, the dad. Look at this man. He looks like he just stayed up all night editing a freaking Netflix documentary. Anyways, Coraline gets a voodoo doll sent to her by Wybie, and it looks suspiciously similar to the one in the intro. Don't know why she would keep the doll, especially if she just met Wybie and he sent her this. Like, is that not weird? But like I said, she's 11, so I digress. Coraline's dad tells her to explore the house, you know, count the doors, kill some bugs, look out the window, maybe even unpack hold up, Detroit? When Coraline stumbles across a small door in the living room, after her freaking doll teleported next to it. Like, come on, you gonna tell me you didn't question how she got there? Coraline tries to open the door, but it's locked, so she calls in her mom to open it. She looks so mad, it's hilarious. Coraline's mama opens the door, and it's just a brick wall. Later that night, Coraline goes to sleep after the worst looking dinner I've ever seen in a movie. Like, damn, bro, I get that you guys are broke, struggling, but come on, y'all Just whip up an egg. But as Coraline is sleeping, these mice start manifesting in the brick wall behind the small door, really embracing that NYC lifestyle I mentioned earlier. These same mice eventually lead Coraline back to the small door, but when she opens it this time, it's a blue portal. And I'll be damned if I went in there without knowing what's on the other side. Definitely not now, and definitely not when I was a kid. Coraline goes through the portal because she's braver than me, and when she gets on the other side, it's not something you would expect. She goes through, and it's the exact same room she was just in, but something feels a little different. And she walks into the kitchen and sees her mom, but with buttons instead of eyes. This is her other mother. I don't know how she's so composed. I went up some dinner for Coraline, which is pretty convenient considering the other stuff that she had to eat. It's almost like she knew. And while she waits for dinner, Coraline meets the other father. Coraline's other father is an interesting character because he's a king. So he sings a song for her, and then dinner is ready. Hey, I can't lie. This food looks finger licking good. They even had a little gravy train, and then the magical cake. Maybe this world isn't so bad. Coraline heads to bed where she has stuffed animals that talk, bugs that talk, pictures of people talking. Wow, this dude is hideous. Coraline goes to sleep and sadly wakes up back to a no gravy train having reality. On the bright side though, her rash is gone. Bad side, door is closed, and her parents are not believing a single word that she says about the other world. Her mom sends her to go meet the neighbors downstairs, but before she does that, we meet the dancing blue Russian man, Mr. Babinski. When I first watched the movie, I was suspicious since the mice came from his apartment, but he actually warns Coraline, telling her, Caroline, the mice.
Jumping mice?
The mice said do not go to little door. They said it is dangerous. Here, have beat. Coraline goes downstairs where she meets Spink and Forcible. My goodness, are these two a lot? First of all, they have like 18 dogs. They argue over everything. And later in the movie, I don't even want to talk about it yet. So these two are into that magic stuff, you know, fortune telling. And Miss Spink tells Coraline she sees danger in her future, while Miss Forcible says she sees a giraffe in her future. But either way, to be very, very careful. And then she leaves. Coraline sees Why Do You Exist, YB? And he tells her that he's never been inside the Pink Palace because it's dangerous. And his grandma had a twin sister who disappeared there when they were little. And on top of that,
I gotta go.
very suspicious indeed. Must be the giraffe. Later that night, we see Coraline leave out some cheese for the mice, who again lead her back to the portal. And again, she sees the other mother, who's again whipping up some dinner for her. And she sends Coraline to go get the other father because he's as hungry as a pumpkin. And when Coraline goes outside, she sees this beautiful garden. I mean, it's magnificent. I don't know if Coraline's that dark, my boy. After dinner, other mother introduces Coraline to mute YB, and he can't talk. Coraline, is that not weird? Coraline and mute YB go watch a show hosted by Button Eye Mr. Babinski. It's nice, it's fun. Coraline goes to bed with 3 people watching her. I don't know how she does this. She wakes up back to the terrible reality, and when she runs to check the door this time, it's locked. Coraline asks her mom why she locked the door, which she proceeds to say is because she found rat boo-boo on the floor. That's disgusting. Coraline goes all emo white kid on her mom, saying, "Get the freak out of my house, mom!" And that's exactly what she does. But while she's gone, Coraline finds the key in a pretty dumb hiding spot in my opinion. She opens the portal, this time during the day, and goes through and meets the other cat, or at least what she thought was the other cat. He's really just a regular cat. It just happens that he can hop dimensions and talk in this one. He tells Coraline that this world may seem to be all peaches and roses, but it's not. The mute YB told him so. Kitty cat runs off. Coraline and mute YB go to Spink and Forcible show, and my goodness, this is probably the most out-of-pocket stuff I've seen in a kid's movie. This is what I was alluding to earlier. I can't show it on YouTube because YouTube might snipe this video off the face of the earth.
I know what they're talking about.
It's bad for a PG movie. Just imagine the Little Mermaid was built like Ursula. That's all I'm gonna say. After the show, Coraline goes back up to the house with her other parents. This is where stuff starts getting very disturbing. When they get back upstairs, the other parents offer Coraline to stay here forever. Infinite food, infinite events, infinite gravy trains. And obviously, Coraline is very happy to do so. But the condition is, in order to stay forever, Coraline would have to sew buttons into her eyes. And it gets worse, because after Coraline says no and tries to run upstairs, she finds out she cannot go home. Coraline tries to run away and runs into the kitty again, where he reveals the truth. The other mother pretty much created this whole world to impress Coraline. But why? Well, she might want to eat her. Kitty cat kills one of the mice who tried to warn the other mother of Coraline's arrival. Guess you could call him a rat? And Coraline goes back inside to try and get through the little door. But she's stopped by this huge Sam Sudlock looking cockroach, which ends up being a whole room of insect furniture with the other mother waiting for her. Ugh, even a bug chair? That's nasty. Coraline and the other mother argue, and the other mother reveals her true form. Well, like stage 1 of her true form, which is bony, creepy, and tall. Like, what are you doing? The Lakers need a backup center, my boy. Other mother locks Coraline behind a mirror where she meets the ghost of the Beldam, aka the other mother's previous victims. My goodness. They ended up going through with the bun procedure and getting Ian alive. By the way, this one right here is YB's grand auntie that went missing. Rest in peace, my boy. They asked Coraline to help find their eyes before she escapes in order to free their souls. Yeah, you're tripping. I'm supposed to risk getting Ian because y'all were dumb enough to put buttons into your eyes? The Pilgrim Kid, I'll cut you some slack. Life must have sucked back then, I know. This time in your life must have been a Salem witch trials. Coraline agrees to help the kids when she's suddenly pulled out by these mysterious hands, which just ends up being the mute YB, whose mouth got freaking sewn into a smile on some Joker stuff by the other mother. That's messed up. He helps Coraline escape back through a little door, sadly unable to escape himself since he's made out of sand. Rest in peace, my boy Mew YB. Coraline gets on the other side, locks the door, and she's finally home. But the house is empty. Then she hears the doorbell ring, opens it, and it's "Why were you conceived, YB?" Coraline tells him about everything that's happened, and he's pretty much like, yeah, she's crazy. Coraline's parents are missing, so obviously she goes to the incredible Spink and Forcible for some help. That's where they give her a handy dandy crystal that you could look through. That'll be important later. Coraline cries herself to sleep like a baby. Relatable. When she's woken up by the kitty in the middle of the night, he shows her that her parents have been captured. The other mother has taken them. Coraline finally gets rid of the doll, goes into her Terminator mode. She's determined to save her parents now, so she suits up and ventures back to the other world with a plan. Oh, heck no. What happened to the other father? Coraline challenges her parents, and if she loses, she has to sew buttons into her eyes. They agree. Coraline goes to the first location, the garden. She finds out the crystal the old ladies gave her allows her to see through walls and locate the kid's eyes. Very convenient. Other father, like the king he is, gives Coraline the first eye. R.I.P. the king. Next location is the theater, where other Spink and Forcible are actually 2 pieces of candy. Coraline makes a bunch of bats swarm them, and she takes a second eyeball, which leaves her with one final eyeball and her parents left. Last location is a circus tent with other Mr. Babinski, who actually turns out to be controlled by a bunch of rats. And while the rats are running away with the eyeball, Coraline decides to throw her most useful item out the freaking door. Luckily, Kitty Cat caught the rat, and the whole other world starts crumbling since Coraline drained it of its power. Coraline finally confronts the other mother, who is now, what happened to you? Who is now freaking full spider mode. Other mother doesn't let Coraline leave because she hasn't found her parents yet. But Coraline does an insanely smart play and distracts the other mother long enough to find the snow globe where her parents are trapped. Derek FDB levels of intelligence, if I do say so myself. Coraline throws her only ally at the other mother, and while he scratches away at her face, Coraline takes approximately 6 to 8 business days just to start moving. But then by the time she does, the other mother goes X Games mode and makes a huge spider web and starts tweaking. Coraline narrowly escapes through the small door thanks to some anime logic afterlife help from the ghost children, and finally frees her parents from the horrible clinchers of Detroit. Am I too mean to Detroit in some of these videos? Here, I'll pick another city to pick on. I got y'all.
Wow.
Ah, the wheel spoke, guys. It's out of my hands. Coraline's parents don't actually remember anything, so Coraline's the only one who knows anything that happened. But it's not over yet. Later at night, after having a dream with the 3 ghost children, they tell her she's still in danger and has to get the key as far away as possible. So Coraline decides to go take it to the well, and right as she's about to drop it in there, the other mother's hand comes out of nowhere from the top rope and starts scrapping with Coraline. But luckily, our boy, why did your parents have to meet YB, comes out of nowhere and grabs the hand, helping Coraline smash it and throw it into the well. The movie ends with Coraline and all her neighbors working on the garden, and we finally get to meet Wyborn's granny. This movie teaches you appreciation, because it's way better seeing the parents you may argue and fight with than to have a beautiful fantasy world where you get stupid amounts of food and whatever you want, but in exchange, you gotta sew buttons into your eyes. Would it really be that bad though? JK. If something like that happened to me though.
So anyways, if you're in the background, that's my grandma and the dog. My little dog is barking. If y'all saw the Adrian video. But that was the Scary Kid movie by JerCrispy. And yeah, I hope I see y'all when I see y'all. Let's finish this out real quick.
I know exactly what to do. What the?
Okay.
What the?
What?
I don't even even look like this.
Too easy.
Come on, bro. You thought you got me right there? Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow the social media. If you don't follow the all this and don't like the video, this is what happened to your eyes. Facts. It will happen to your eyes if you don't like the video. But love y'all to the bottom of my heart, and we on the road to 100. 100.